Theorycrafting is back, and in this video we are discussing our favorite teams to use the Brotherhood in outside of a full Brotherhood team. Let's smash it!
Valley Flyer.
Hey, what's up all you Valley Maniacs? Valley Flying here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. And we have a fun video today, some great Theorycrafting, and I am joined by the crazy Scotsman himself, hailing all the way from Glasgow, Scotland.
You got dancing midgets and leathers?
The bagpipes are coming. What's up, Tony Bing?
Not much, not much. Just looking forward to this and seeing how we get on here.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
I've been looking forward to this for a while, my friend. We've been talking about this for a long time.
We sure have.
And it takes the Brotherhood to bring us together and make this video. And that's what we're talking about today, guys. We're talking about the Brotherhood. So we've been thinking about something to do for a while. And there's a lot of these teams that have all these pre-built synergy. Shield, Brotherhood, Defenders. And we thought it'd be good to get back to our old Theorycrafting ways that we enjoy and Theorycraft a team for the Brotherhood without the rest of the Brotherhood on it. So each of the Brotherhood characters in their own team. I've made 5, Tony's made 5, and I'm gonna reveal my 5 on this channel with Tony Bing's reaction, and on his channel he's gonna reveal his with my reaction. So fun stuff. Make sure you check out both videos. Unless you got anything else, let's get right back into it.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, let's do it. All right, so my first team is for Pyro. This is the team that I came up with for Pyro. Started with Mordo, Merc Lieutenant, Pyro, Venom, and Drax. And this is kind of the turn order that they're gonna go in. Mordo's gonna go first. He's gonna either do a blind or a stun with his special. I don't think the heal block is the right move at this point. So he's gonna do that and hopefully get some good RNG and gets a bunch of blinds. Then you got Merc Lieutenant buffing everybody, speed up, offense up. Then Pyro's coming with his big bleed stack. Venom, he could spread those bleeds or he can apply more bleeds to another character. And Drax, I just threw him in there to kind of protect this team, give it a little tankiness. What are your thoughts on this team, my friend?
Interesting. One I didn't expect at all. Quite different for what I've chosen. I won't spoil anything here. Can see the obvious synergies between the likes of Mordo and Pyro. You've obviously gone for the debuffs there, and of course Venom as well with all the bleeds. And I'm pretty shoddy at maths, but with one of the teams I was playing around with that included Pyro and Venom, I think you could have something like maybe around about 11 bleeds stacked on a character, which would be really, yeah, really pretty insane. You've obviously got Merc Lieutenant there to speed up. I would say it's primarily Venom really. You don't want to speed up Drax at all, but certainly be interesting team, definitely interesting setup. Pyro is, I believe, one of the stronger characters that can fit into more of the teams due to the emphasis on the debuffs and potentially stacking them up as well.
Yeah, when we were thinking of this, the Pyro is the first one that came to my mind, and the first thing I think of with Pyro is all of his bleeds.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to get Venom in there. Mordo, just a bunch of other debuffs that Venom could potentially spread. And then you got the 2 others there, Merc Lieutenant and Drax in there just for a little bit of fun. Let me show you real quick what I would do with their placement on the team. So I'll put Drax on one end, and honestly, I don't think the rest of the 4 matter.
Yeah.
All right. So what are your ratings on this team on a scale of 1 to 10? Where would you put this team? Primarily for Blitz. I'm thinking of this more as a Blitz team than anything else.
Yeah. I think when it comes to Blitz, would I want to go up against them or would I actually want to use them there? Definitely could be tricky. The Venom is a character that I don't use often myself, but when I go up against him I do find I can struggle actually, just due to the health regen and all the debuffs he's casting. Mordo as well is really dangerous in the first turn, and you've got a whole heap of defense coming from Drax in that first turn as well, and then you've also got Merc Lieutenant. There's a lot of characters there, and I would struggle to actually pick the kill order because they could be quite dangerous. So I would say I'll go for a 7.5 for this team.
I think I think I like 7.5 as well for my own rating, or maybe 7. I think this team has a lot of things that could potentially go wrong if you're going up against them. Mordo, always a threat for me. Pyro, a big threat. Venom, his big thing, he's a great character. His big thing that's holding him back is his speed. That's why I put Merc Lieutenant in there to try to counterbalance that.
Yep.
So I think for myself, I would go... I'll split the difference. I'll go 7.25. I'll be a little harsher on myself than you are on me. All right, let's move on to the next team. Let's go back to the character select. And this is my Mystique team.
You don't think I look pretty like this?
Mystique was a tough one for me because she doesn't really have a lot of uniqueness in her kit. I mean, with all of her stuff, it's pretty much just damage. Is the way I think of her. So I wanted to increase that damage, put her around more damage dealers. So I put 3 of the 5 Guardians with her: Star-Lord, Gamora, and Rocket. So the 3 best Guardians I put on this team. And then Loki to kind of give it a little protection to round it off, give it a little bit more damage. Just threats all around is the way I'm seeing this team. What are your thoughts on it?
It looks like a nice team. Looks like a team that I would avoid in Blitz, because I do find the temptation when you're running Blitz is you see a team that doesn't have a tank and it's just fast damage dealers, and I'll occasionally jump in and think I'll take them out. There's no tank, but I normally get burnt down before I can actually get the chance to really make any progress, and this is a team that would do that. You've got Loki and Mystique. I believe they're a great combination together due to the 2 controls that they actually have at the start of the match to take a character out. You've got Loki, who should go first, I believe, if that's right, and he'll add the defense down, and then you have Mystique, who does a huge amount of damage, so you're finishing off at least 1 or 2 characters there, and then you're following up and you've got additional damage with Gamora, Star-Lord and Rocket gaining the 30% speed and the additional damage via Star-Lord as well. So that's a dangerous team, and one I wouldn't like to go up against, but one I would actually like to play as.
Yeah, I think this would be a fun team, as long as you're not going up against some tank that you can't get around. Not really on a debuffer on this team, so you need to go up against one of those teams without a tank like you were talking about. And then, that first turn, Loki's defense down. Gamora could follow with her basic, because her basic is pretty strong. Star-Lord could either blind somebody else or use his ultimate and just take out that character that Loki just did the defense down to. And then you got more damage coming from Mystique. Rocket really gets ramped up on turn 2 and 3. Actually, turn 3 is when he gets his big move, but he has his special available on turn 1. Scary team. I don't think I want to face this either, especially in tier 8 of Blitz, where teams are way stronger than you.
Yeah, you get shredded.
All right, so placement. The main thing on this one is Star-Lord here. No real tank, so the rest of these guys don't really matter. As far as ratings, 1 to 10, how would you rate this team?
I'd go for a solid 9. That's a really nice team. With the placement, they're definitely stronger. You're wanting to give the energy from Star-Lord to Rocket. It's nice to give Gamora the energy, but the way the energy works on Star-Lord, I believe the majority of the time you'll get Rocket's ultimate in turn 2. So you're starting turn 1 with all that burst damage, and then turn 2 you're finishing really the enemies off that get low health via Rocket. So awesome team, and I think I may struggle with the one I've come up with that to actually beat it.
I think I would go with a. I think my rating scale is a little harsher than yours. I think this is an 18 for me.
Don't be modest. Just go for 9. It's fine.
I mean, this is definitely a dangerous team, but there are some weaknesses. They can't really get around a tank. That's why I'm bumping it down a little.
Lack of cleanse.
All right. Next team here is the Sabertooth team.
Scream for me.
Now, this is my full-on villains team. And I think the best fit, at least in my opinion, for it was Sabertooth, because he has such a strong turn 1 and turn 2. This team, I'm looking turn 2 to really get this thing going with Kingpin's offense up, defense up, because on turn 2, you get Yondu with his AoE. You get a big move from Sabertooth, either his ultimate or his special, whichever you didn't use on turn 1. They're both great moves. Crossbones detonate, and then what's going to be left after that? I don't know. Thanos could clean up with his big AOE if he's got it. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking of this team. What are your thoughts on this team right here?
Really interesting team, and I've actually one of their Brotherhood characters. I've used a very similar team, not Sabertooth, that I've dropped in there. So that's really interesting. You've got the payoff in round 2, so you have to survive until then. So let's see with the characters you've got. Yondu could be open to maybe getting burned down on the first turn, just due to the fact that Thanos is so slow with the taunt and you don't want to taunt up with crossbones. But if you can make it to that second turn, as you say, you have Yondu with the Yakka arrow, you have Sabertooth with the special or ultimate, depending on what one you've saved, that do insane damage, and with the defense up, be incredible, and then crossbones and Thanos to finish off the stragglers. So nice one. I do think little bit of gamble in turn 1 until everything gets going, but again, that would be one that I would probably avoid in Blitz if I was going up against it.
Yeah, if you could get past turn 1, this team is going to do a bunch of damage. So kind of reverse of that Brotherhood team, the original Brotherhood. That's that turn 2 or turn 1. This one's a strong turn 2.
I think your Mystique team could actually counter this one really well. The strong burst you had.
Oh, the other team that I had?
Yeah, the team we looked at a moment ago, that could be a great combo to this one.
I would like to see the two of them fight, because if this team could survive, it's going to be game over. All right, as far as placement, let's go look at how I had them. Now, common theory would have Yondu right next to Thanos, but he's a little squishy. So I put Kingpin next to Thanos, because Kingpin could take a punch. He has a huge health. So because the primary tank is Thanos, I mainly am using him for a tank, not that energy. And that's why Yondu is all the way over here. And then Crossbone is the backup tank for the subsequent turns. And yeah, he's next to Yondu. But by then, hopefully everything is going good. Ratings for this team. Where do you see this team on a scale of 1 to 10?
This is a tough one, because if I was to grade it on the turn 2, it would probably be close to a 10, 9.5, 10.
But they got to get
based
there,
on
right?
they got to get there in the first place. So based on that, I'll go for 8.25. Just to be different.
Oh man, I think I was gonna go 8.25. I think there's no rule that said we can't do the same rating. I think I'll go 8.25
No,
as well.
of course not.
All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so next one is my Juggernaut team. This was the hardest one for me to make.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
Because Juggernaut is a good tank. He's very slow. And in a full-on Brotherhood team, he kind of counters that, because he has Magneto, and whenever he gets hit, he gets that turn meter. But in a non-Brotherhood team, until he gets that taunt up, he's just really not doing a lot. So to counterbalance that, Black Widow with her speed up, Captain America with possibly some energy to Juggernaut. It's probably going to one of these other characters, though. Quake rounds out that triumphant with Black Widow, Captain America, just solid right there. And Iron Man, I kind of threw him in there because I didn't have another character to throw in there that I liked. And he works well with this Avenger/Shield team. So Juggernaut, for me, just added a little protection. This is probably the least favorite of all my teams. What are your thoughts on this team right here?
It's interesting. Juggernaut was probably the team that I enjoyed the most doing, and when I found definitely one I found the easiest. So it should be interesting when I cover that. You've of course got the Black Widow and Quake. You want to mix the speed up and the slow down. That's an awesome combo. Thrown in Cap is great for the energy, as you mentioned, to go to Juggernaut, because the whole thing with Juggernaut is once he gets going, he doesn't stop. So you build up his charges, use his ultimate, and he'll retain the 4 charges if you can pump him full of energy and get him firing off that ultimate again. And then you've got the obvious synergies between Cap and Iron Man as well. Now, could I take advantage of a team such as this? Possibly, I think. I'm not sure. It's one of these ones where sometimes you have teams where you think this will be a nice easy blitz match, and then you go up against them and you get smashed. This one, I think I wouldn't skip past it. I think I would try my luck with this one to see how I got on.
This a shield team could take this one out pretty easily. You go after Quake first.
Yeah, they could
and
take out.
then there's not a lot of threats remaining.
Yep.
I don't know. Like I said, this is my least favorite of all of them. I mean, what? I don't know. You have anything else with this team? Because I was kind of at a loss when I was making it.
But let's just go to the ratings.
We don't need the placement. Well, I'll show you the placement, how I placed them.
Yeah.
All right, so the placement, Cap on one end, Black Widow right next to Cap, Juggernaut on the other end, Iron Man. I put him next to Juggernaut because he's a little tankier than Quake.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, let's hear your ratings. How bad is it?
The placement's good. The placement's perfect because you've got Iron Man with the high armor next to Juggernaut, so that works out well. And then you have Black Widow who will be stealthing up and stopping any chains, so it makes sense to have Quake in the middle. So I would go. You have said this is your least favourite team, haven't you? So if I'm a bit harsh, you won't be offended. No. Yeah, I'll go for
4. Ooh.
7.
Okay.
No. I'll sorry, that's just my accent. I'll go for not number 4. I'll go for 7 for the placement.
You are generous, man.
And
For the placement. Okay, what is the team though?
yeah, exactly. And 6 for the team.
That's
so
around where I was thinking.
That's
That's around
6.5.
6, 5 or 6 is where
I'm a nice guy.
I think this team, unless you're going with a shield team and could take out Black Widow, one of these characters right away. If you're going with a normal team, it can be kind of tricky. So I'm thinking 5 or 6 for me. Obviously, could have done a much better job with Juggernaut. Let's just move on. I had a little trouble with Magneto.
A new tomorrow that starts today.
Without the full Brotherhood team, he is so slow. Even with that extra 15%, he's still going after everybody on this team. But this team, I think, poses some problems. A little more than you think. All right, Hawkeye. He could do a Dispel on turn 1, so Drax is not a problem. Probably going to use his basic, though. Spider-Man, his turn 1 is a killer with his defense down. Then you got Vision going with an ability block on potentially 2 characters. Scarlet Witch, she extends the defense downs. She extends the ability blocks, and then Magneto goes, brings everybody together, blinds them, and then Hawkeye's ready with his next blind. I think this team could pose a lot of problems, but there are some counters to this team. So what are your thoughts on this team here?
This is an interesting one, definitely. Magneto, he can really add quite a lot of teams. I did struggle to fit him in as well, to be honest.
Speed.
But
it's his
I think
speed,
quite.
right? He's so slow.
Yeah, definitely. Without the Brotherhood, he's lacking that speed. Obvious synergies and ones that I've thought about myself were the Scarlet Witch extending the debuffs, because you've got the mass blind on him, and you've got, I believe it's Disrupt on the special as well, so it doesn't matter if you use a special or the ultimate in turn 1, it should line up quite nice for Scarlet Witch. It gives her flexibility to cast defense on the first turn as well if she needs it, and you've got the 2 turns of defense up on Spidey, so you don't have to worry about when you extend that, and then the bleeds from Vision, and then blinds from Hawkeye. Actually, you've done well here. And I think about it.
This was my least favorite team, but when I started looking at them and what they're doing on their turn order, I started to like it a little more, and that Juggernaut just was not a favorite of mine. So
yeah, no, this is good. You've made up for it with this one.
Good. At least 4 of my 5 are good.
Redeemed yourself at the final hurdle.
All right, so let's look at where I would place these guys. I don't think the placement matters at all on this team, because there's no tank or anybody drawing fire or giving out energy. So placement, I don't think matters at all with this team. Yeah. Let's go with the last call. What is the rating on this team?
This one we were 9 for one of the teams, weren't we, actually? So for this one, I think it's really good. The potential, when I was actually running over the characters and adding it all up, the blind on 2 of them, the bleeds, the defense down, the extend. the fact you don't have a tank is not necessarily too bad, because Scarlet Witch
Scarlet
can
Witch.
very
And
early
then
on add the
Magneto and
deflect
Hawkeye
and
with the
defense.
blinds as well. And then you got the
Yeah.
spell with vision.
This is tough. I would say it's just under the team we rated at 9, so I know I'm going really strange with the ratings here, but I'll go for 8.9 on this one.
I like it too. I'm going to have to go a little more, I'm going to go 8.7 for this team, just to be unique.
Sounds fair enough.
All right, and that is the teams, guys. So let me know how you would rate these teams. The 4 teams, because the Juggernaut team is probably the last one. Let me know what you guys think of these in the order. And Tony Bing, I'm very curious to see your teams. So that video will be on his site.
You can break my neck. I fight for a living.
I would just say that the 5 teams that I've chosen, I would rate them all 10 out of 10, not to put any pressure on you or anything
All right,
like
so
that.
we gotta go
kidding.
shoot your video. I want to see what your teams are.
I'm completely kidding. Some of the teams I've struggled with, although overall, looking at them now actually on my screen, overall, I would say I'm pretty happy with them, and they're very different from your teams. So that's really good. So that'll make it interesting to see the 2 videos together, the differences and the explanations as well.
And we didn't
So that
communicate
should
not
be
to
fun.
use the same characters. We just kind of did that on our own and ended up using all different
Definitely,
characters for every single team. So.
Otherwise, some characters are a bit too obvious and strong to use there.
I mean,
so
some you could
yeah,
repeat
it
and just
worked
make
out well.
the same team just good, but I didn't want to do that. So.
Definitely. Defenders for all teams with just a different Brotherhood member in each of the Defenders teams. I should have done that.
A little too easy.
Definitely. Just drop one of them.
All right, so that's it, guys. Make sure you check out BlueStacks link down below. If you like this video, make sure you click on the subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Smash on that like button, and I will see you guys next time. I do have one question for you, though. Here comes my Hulk Hogan impression. What you gonna do, brother, when Valley Flan and all the Valley Mayonnaise come down on you, dude? Valley Flan, out!